Okay. We have Mr. Horn. This is live on YouTube. So this is position 28, State of Georgia versus Rodriguez Horn. Mr. Horn is here present in court. He's charged in warrant number 2022 WA 06395 with committing the offense of obstruction of an officer. He's also charged in warrant number 2022 WA 06396 with committing the offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Horn is here represented by Mr. Lane and Ms. Bellal. Is this going to be your case or Mr. Brooks?
It's me.
my case, Judge.
Okay. The state is here represented by Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks, you can swear in your witness and present your case.
All right. State's witness is Officer Ikugu. If you was raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about giving the matter now been for the court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. State your name for the record.
Officer D. Ikegwu.
And you're employed with the College Park Police Department?
You got him.
I'm sorry, say that once more.
Correct, I am.
On April the 12th of 2022, were you employed in the same capacity?
Correct.
And on that date, were you working or dispatched to 2091 Convention Center Concourse?
I was.
Is that within the city of College Park?
Correct.
Here in Clayton County?
Correct.
Did the call regard a suspicious person entering into a unauthorized area?
Correct, it did.
When you arrived to the call, did you make contact with the individual who entered into the unauthorized area?
I did outside of the location.
Were you able to identify that person?
Not originally, but eventually I did.
Was that person a Rodriguez Horn?
Correct.
During the course of your investigation, what did you determine as related to the original dispatch?
I did find that Mr. Horn did enter into an unauthorized location of the hotel. And he did, cause a disturbance, not a physical disturbance, but a alarming disturbance, if that makes sense.
When you made contact with Mr. Horn, were you able to interview him or speak with him?
Yes, I did.
During the course of the interview or speaking with Ms. Horn, did you give him instructions?
I did.
What was the nature of your instructions?
When I made contact with Mr. Horn, he was, interviewed and asked, why was he in that area, unauthorized area that he was in. He stated that he was homeless. He had moved down here, and he had nowhere to sleep. So that was the beginning of the interaction. Okay.
And during the course of speaking with him, was he advised to do certain things or not do certain things?
He was.
What was the instruction?
After I obtained the name that he had gave me, I had went back to my patrol car. There were other officers there who continually asked him to keep his hands out of his pockets. He failed to do so, and he was officers attempted to detain him.
You say attempted to detain him. Was there a struggle or altercation between he and officers?
Yes, sir, it was.
This was during the course of initiating an arrest?
It was more of a detention at that point.
Okay. Ultimately, what was the result of the investigation?
It was determined that he was the person that went into the unauthorized part of the building. And after being asked to take his hands out of his pockets, he was going to be detained, and then he started to resist and fight with officers.
Did you ultimately place him under arrest?
Yes, I did.
What did you arrest him for?
Trespass and obstruction.
What was the basis of the criminal trespass?
Criminal trespass was entering into an unauthorized part of the building, which he did not have a room in, and he was that part of of the building was not available for regular patrons at the hotel.
Was he asked to leave and did not leave?
Correct.
And what was the basis for the obstruction?
Not taking his hands out of his pockets and fighting and resisting with officers.
No additional questions.
Mr. Lane. You're still muted, Mr. Lane.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Good morning, officer. I'm trying to determine what county this, is this a hotel?
Correct.
Where this, I'm sorry,
Correct.
is a hotel? And the address is 2091 Convention Center Concourse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you tell me what county it's in?
It is in Fulton County. With that being said, the arrest took place in the parking lot right outside, and it was in between 2089 Convention Center and 2091 Convention Center.
Okay. And what evidence do you have that showing that my client was, I guess, in this unauthorized area of the hotel?
It was the housekeeper and the hotel manager who said that he was on the 6th floor within the housekeeping closet. I don't know, for lack of better terms, the housekeeping closet.
Okay. Is there any video evidence of this?
I'm not sure.
And when you encountered my client out in the parking lot, did you inquire as to his health?
Yes, after he was tased, yes, I did.
Okay. But even prior to him being tased, it seemed like that he understood your commands.
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. I have a question to clear up the venue issue.
I can clear that up, Your Honor.
Okay.
The state is going to ask the court to dismiss the criminal trespass charge. We'll go
Okay.
for obstruction charge, which happened in the parking lot, Clayton County.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard. So, may this officer be excused?
Assuming he has no other cases, Your Honor, the state has no objection.
Okay, sir.
I do not
if
have
you-
any other places.
Okay, you can be excused. So state is moving to dismiss the criminal trespass. Is there any argument on the obstruction charge?
Just submit on the obstruction, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Lane?
Just would argue that it seems a little over the top to tase him twice. That other than that, no, Your Honor.
Okay,
Your Honor, can I say something? I'm sorry.
yes, sir.
Officer Ikego, I'm sorry. Being that the reason that he was tased twice, I'm an officer of 5'3" stature. I don't know how big the defendant is, but yeah, that's the reason why I tased him twice. Also, the other two officers that was out there were much smaller than he was.
Okay, well, the amount of times that he was tased is not an issue before the court here today. I'm going to find that there's sufficient evidence to bind the obstruction of officer charge over to the state court of Clayton County, and the criminal trespass charge will be dismissed on a venue related issue. Okay, Mr. Horn can be sent back. There was I saw Tequila's 832, ma'am, would you?
Judge, she's a victim on one of our cases, but I do have another victim that's been here all morning. That victim just logged in. And so she is on the person that you're now referring to is on the Kiera Blackwell case. But I have a victim that's been here all morning on the Lamar Amos case.
Right. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to place you in a breakout room until we need you. Let's see.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
Officer Mays, Clayton County PD. I've been here since 0830 in reference to that Kiera Blackwell case.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let's bring up Miss Blackwell, Kiera Blackwell, and with Mr. Amos. I think I want to get Miss Lee out of here. And I do agree with you, Miss Bellow. And I want to get these officers out.
I don't mind waiting a few more.
I'm sorry, sir.
I don't mind waiting a few more minutes for that.
Okay, well, we have the witness here. Do you believe, Miss Bellow, you're gonna need the witness and Officer Mays?
I'm gonna have Officer Mays testify first, and then I'll probably make a judgment on that. And even if I did judge, it should be, it might be a little quicker than the Amos case based on the nature of the charges. So if we go forward on this one, I'd rather go forward on this one first.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm gonna place you in breakout room 1, because there's something called a rule of sequestration. So each witness goes separately. So you should have a link now that will allow you to press the link and get placed in that room. We're going to take Officer May's testimony, and then Ms. Bellow will let us know if she believes she needs your testimony. Okay, so it looks like she's gone. We're still live. For the record, this is going to be position 15, State of Georgia versus Kiera Blackwell. Ms. Blackwell, I thought she was there. Okay. Ms. Blackwell is here. She's been represented by Mr. Lane, who's also present. State is being represented by Ms. Bellow. Ma'am, you can swear in your witness and present your case.
Okay, thank you. Officer, if you please raise your right hand. Swear from the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, please state your name for the record.
It was Officer Benjamin Mays III, County Police Department.
Okay, and were you working on the 12th of April, 2022?
Yes,
Were you dispatched to a domestic disturbance at 738 Dunair Way in Jonesboro, Georgia?
yes, ma'am.
Is that in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and please tell us the facts that have the defendant here charged with terroristic threats.
Came on scene. A few of the roommates were there. Apparently they had a disturbance, verbal disturbance about some rent not being paid or something of that nature. The victim claimed that during the altercation, the suspect exclaimed that she would kill her, kill the victim. There was a witness there also, another one of the roommates who echoed what the victim said, took statements from the victim and the witness, also took statements from the suspect, who exclaimed that she did not say what she said. At the end of the conclusion of the investigation, because of the testimonial evidence provided and the witness statements provided by the victim and the suspect, had to make an arrest.
Okay. And you did speak to the victim in this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have no further questions of this officer.
Miss Bellal, I have a question. With the threat being to kill someone, isn't that a felony offense?
I believe yes. Yes. Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Lane.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, officer. Was there any allegations of physical contact when you came out there?
Not at the time. There was no allegation of physical contact.
Okay. And did you see any weapons?
No,
No knives, guns, anything like that?
no, sir.
Okay. And when you interviewed my client, Ms. Blackwell, did she tell you that the victim here, or the alleged victim, threatened to lay her out? She was going to lay her out.
Yes, sir. That's what she told me.
And she also threatened my client, saying she was going to stomp her.
Yes, sir. It's in the report.
Okay. And 2 days prior, there was a Starlet Washington who came out to the residence and was involved in an incident there. Did you ever interview a Starlet Washington?
No, and I wasn't made aware by Ms. Blackwell nor any of the other involved parties of an incident that occurred 2 days prior.
Okay. Do you know if the police were called out there 2 days earlier?
Judge, I'm going to object as to the relevance.
I'm not certain.
Mr. Lane?
Your Honor, it just goes, it ties into how all this culminated 2 days later. That's all I'm getting at.
Okay. I'm going to sustain the objection, but the officer's already answered, so you can ask
Yeah,
your next question.
And did you investigate about how my client's key was stolen, the key to her room?
No, sir.
And why weren't any charges brought against the victim when she'd made the threats to stomp and quote unquote lay out my client?
I couldn't corroborate what the suspect alleged. I didn't have any witnesses as to the allegations that she made or the counter allegations that she made.
But she shouldn't be required to have a third party as a witness, right, to make it true.
I'm sorry, is that a question?
Yes.
I'm gonna sustain the objection. That's argumentative, Mr. Lane.
Right. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you intend to call your other witness, Ms. Bellal?
Yes, Judge, it's going to be very brief.
Okay. May Officer Mays be excused?
Yes, Judge, he can.
Okay, thank you, Officer Mays, for your patience. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Blau.
Okay. All right. So let's see if we can bring your witness in. And when we bring her in, would you just tell me her name again for the record?
Okay. And let me make sure I have the correct name on here. Okay. Okay. It's Tequila James, Judge.
Tequila James. Okay, Miss James, I need you to unmute yourself. And you're going to be questioned by Ms. Bellal and possibly Mr. Lane. And I want you, as best as possible, to just respond directly to the questions as they're being asked. What happened to Ms. Blackwell?
Your Honor, right back.
I'm sorry, she did what?
Here she is right here.
Okay, Ms. Blackwell is now back on camera. We have Ms. James, Ms. Bellow, examine your witness. Swear
Okay.
in and examine your witness, I'm sorry.
Yes, Judge. Ms. James?
Yes,
Okay, I need you to be in an area where it's a little more quiet.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, find a quiet place. I got all my employees. Hold on, let me get my mask. I can probably go in the bathroom. We're not allowed to have our phone on the floor, so let me see if I can. Okay.
Are you stationary now?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Swear from the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, please state your name.
Tequila James.
Okay, Ms. James, do you know Ms. Blackwell?
Yes, I do know her.
How do you know her?
Through a friend that I was hanging out with, was friends, her daughter was friends with her. And
Okay,
I know her, I only know her since probably like since January of this year.
Okay, were you guys roommates when this incident occurred?
Yes.
Okay, and were you living at 738 Dunair Way in Jonesboro?
Yes.
That's Clayton County?
Mm-hmm.
And did you get into a verbal altercation with each other on the 12th of April, 2022?
Yes.
And during that altercation that you guys had, this argument, did she threaten to kill you?
Yes, she did.
Did she make any movements towards you in a sense that would make you feel like she was?
She charged after me. She didn't have a weapon or anything, but she charged after me.
And there were others out there that heard her make this threat to you?
Yes. I have another roommate that was there when everything happened.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Mr. Lane, do you have any questions of Ms. James?
Okay.
Yeah, just briefly, Ms. James. Did you threaten to lay out Ms. Blackwell?
Threatened to, I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you threaten to quote unquote lay out my client, Ms. Blackwell?
Lay out? No. What you mean lay out? I'm sorry.
Well, that's what-
Ma'am, I understand what layout mean. I lay you out, lay you down, put you down, all of that kind of stuff.
No.
So if you didn't say it, that's fine.
Okay.
Ask your next question, Mr. Lane.
Did you threaten to stomp my client?
No, I didn't.
Did you make any threats towards my client?
I threatened to put her out my house. That was the only threat that I made.
Okay. And do you know a Starlet Washington?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Was she over at the residence 2 days prior?
Judge, I'm going to object to the relevance. Ma'am, do not answer until the ma'am, do not answer yet until the judge says.
Okay.
Mr. Lane,
Yes.
can you just proffer to me why you believe this is a relevant line of questioning?
Well, this is where it all stems from. This is where it all started, was the 2 days prior when the Starlet Washington came over to the residence with another woman and 3 men and assaulted my client in her room.
Okay, let's assume for the sake of argument that all of that is true. Would that be a justification 2 days later to make a threat to kill somebody? It explains conduct, but it's not a justification.
Being in that situation, possibly, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna sustain the objection.
All right. As far as the key to my client's room, do you know its whereabouts?
No, I don't.
Okay.
She asked me about the key. I told her I haven't seen it. She had left the night before and she said she had her key when she got home, I was leaving to go to work and I wasn't home. So, you know, between the time when she said she
Miss
lost her
James,
key.
Ms.
Yes.
James, it's sufficient to answer the question. If you
Okay.
feel like you have to explain an answer, you can. But
Okay,
I stopped listening after you answered the question.
okay, okay.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Lane.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Okay, any follow-up, Ms. Bilal?
No, Judge.
May Ms. James be excused?
Yes, she may.
Ms. James, you can be excused or you can choose to stay to the end. The choice is yours.
I'm gonna go ahead because my break was over at 11:30. I'm actually at work right now, so I'm gonna have to get off.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove you.
Okay.
All right, have a
Thank
good
you.
day, man.
You too.
Any argument?
None, Judge.
Ms. Lane?
Just briefly, Your Honor, even assuming that my client did make the threat, I mean, just given the circumstances and the hostile environment in this, where they lived, this dispute over rent and the circumstances of what led up to that, I would just argue for dismissal, either that or that the alleged victim in this case also be charged.
Well, that of course is within the purview of the solicitor's office or the police as to whether they're going to charge both people. These situations are necessarily messy, but it doesn't mean that the evidence is not sufficient. So I'm going to bind this over to the state court of Clayton County, and the argument that you're making, Mr. Lane, is an argument that will be made at a trial.
Judge, I'm sorry, because I thought when we talked earlier that it's actually a felony.
Well, and
I mean, I just wanted to just be clear if the court, because I know the court just said state court. If the court bounds it over to state court, okay, but I just wanted to just be clear. When we talked earlier, we did verify.
yes, I do believe it is a felony. Unfortunately, I am afraid if I try to bind this over to Superior Court, is gonna get trapped in Neverland. Because I've had situations where Superior Court case was improperly bound over to Superior Court. Superior Court didn't want to touch it because they said it's misdemeanor, and they wouldn't send it back down because they said they weren't going to touch it. And so the case could never officially get sent to the right place because of how people were responding. This is something I'm going to bind over to the state court. And if it's something that that you look at and you believe it needs to go to Superior Court, I believe if you were to contact the DA's office, that they would look at it.
Yeah, I understand the process, Judge. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm just a judge. I don't, I can call over and people will ignore me all day, as they may listen to you. So I'm going to bind this over to state court. But Ms. Blackwell, the way that the allegation comes out, I do believe it would be properly sent over as a felony. And that'll be a decision that's made between the prosecuting bodies. Okay, so stay in contact with your lawyer, man. All right, what do we have next?
Mr. Amos, Judge, for my one victim that I'd like to.
Yes, Mr. Little, are you going to be handling Mr. Amos?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need me to place you in the room so you can speak to him?
If you could, I don't expect it to take more than like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that so that we can get Miss Lee out of here. So let's see. I'm putting the jail in breakout room number 2. And I am going to place you in there, Mr. Little. Over at the jail, would you please allow Mr. Little the opportunity to speak to Mr. Amos? Okay. Where'd you go? Okay, I have so many people on here. But it's hard.
Breakout room
So,
2.
You should be able to, yes, breakout room 2. So I'll give you about, hopefully 5 minutes will be enough time.
Your Honor, I've had a chance to speak with Mr. Amos. I'm just waiting for him to get out of the breakout room, and we should be ready.
Hello, Your Honor.
It looks like the jail's back.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Something made me have like a gag reflex. Okay, I'm sorry. Took
Your
the
Honor,
opportunity. Yes, sir.
sir, can you please tell us who can we send back? Because we still have a lot of
Okay. Let's do that rather